2021. What a year! It was a year of stim marine timings and double Stargate. Another year of strong parity, showcasing micro and strong decision making. But what were the very best games? Stick around and we'll show you. And just before we start, this is going to be even more spoiler heavy than last year's list. So if you don't want your game spoiled, stop watching and check out the list in the description below. There will be links so you can go to each game and check it out. Okay, you were warned. Here we go. Here is the top 10 for 2021.
Number 10.
Cyril versus Klazer. This best of 3 is pretty cool because Klazer goes mech, and that's something you don't get to see too often anymore. Cyril shows us why as he adapts and dismantles the Terran. Remember, Klazer is a notorious Zerg killer and the best TVZ mech player in the world. So what Cyril does here is pretty special. But the real reason this series makes the list is that it has the Baneling hit of the year. Just beautifully set up. I got that warm fuzzy glow for hours after watching.
Number 9.
Clem versus Beyond Champions Brawl Finals. This single game was the most intense TVT mirror match I've seen in ages. Hypersensitive positioning, intense marine control. And it was a tournament finals. Big money on the line, and it all came down to this final game.
Number 8.
Bly versus Fighting Frog. In this game, Bly is Bly and he builds a hatch in the Protoss Natural. That's tons of fun. But his opponent, the pugnacious amphibian, also battled with creativity. One of the first and finest Tempest rushes with tectonic destabilizers that we've seen. Something I had been begging for. Bly brought us a ton of great games this year. It's a crime that his only appearance on this list is at number 8. I feel like a top 20 list would have been littered with Bly games.
Number 7.
But Always versus Go-Go Joey. You just knew BA was going to have to make my list. This was a best of 3 from this year's DreamHack Fall. Game 1 is a 50-minute split map mine-out scenario which features the biggest forward shield battery array ever constructed. Game 2 is a base race that will keep you guessing to the last second. And Game 3, we don't talk about Game 3. I bet you missed this series the first time around because you were busy watching Europeans, but now you get a second chance.
Number 6.
Magical versus Leon, aka Chiron versus Terran. This one feels like I just cast it yesterday, cause it kinda was. It's a great back and forth game, total nail biter, which featured the Chiron's Aegis in a critical role. Yes, 2021 was the year the Chiron were released, and if you haven't seen this indie race played yet, you need to do so. And while this isn't the best one to start with, it might just be required viewing.
Number 5.
Alphastar versus Master. This is a game which admittedly was actually played a couple of years back, but I cast it this year. I went looking for the longest Alphastar game I could find for kicks, and when I cast it, boy did I luck out finding this amazing stunner. Alphastar starts out trashing the human player, but then engages in an unsolved technical phenomena Google calls forgetting, an AI issue discussed at the video's conclusion. But the short of it is, Alphastar decides to take on lurkers without detection. It makes for a bizarre nail-biter of a game in which you can actually cheer for the human. Who will adapt first? Also, there's a surprise interview with Alphastar at the end, and you don't get that every day.
Number 4.
Max Pax versus Rogue, the visual slow-mo. This was a huge crowd pleaser. Another game on Romanticide. I'm kinda sensing Romanticide was the map of the year. The game featured Max Pax dealing insane disruptor hits over and over, but they were somehow matched by Rogue's mass Viper abducts. Technically, this game was cast in December of 2020, but it was after my top 10 video last year, and so we'll let it slide, okay?
Number 3.
Scarlett versus Trigger when Canadians attack. Scarlett on her new team playing in DreamHack Summer North America where she and Neeb reign supreme. But Trigger tries to make a name for himself, taking the Queen of Blades to the wire. A long game with back and forth at every step. Oh, and it featured the roller skating Ultralisk bug, and that's bonus points.
Number 2.
Bjorn vs. Reiner. This game from the group stages of Azus Rog featured the return of Bjorn, and my first chance to cast him. And boy did he not disappoint. Bjorn goes absolutely mad with multitasking drops and abuses the map terrain in ways that felt absolutely old school. It was Bjorn at his very best, and you rarely ever see Reiner take a smackdown on this level.
Number 1.
It was close, but I have to give the grand prize to Max Pax versus Reiner. What to say about this best of 3 from Azus Rogfall? It's a thriller. Reiner is on fire. He's cheesing, he's aggressive, and he's doing micro to keep you glued to your seat. Max Pax is defending like a boss. I almost can't explain it. You have to see it. This was, for me, the series of the year. So that is the top 10 for 2021. Give it to me. Where did I go wrong? What were your picks? Who was overlooked? Who were the honorable mentions? Adding in all those quotes from you guys really reminds me to thank you for commenting on my vids over the past year. It really helps me out, and I love that we're building a bit of a community here. And I also want to really thank the players. It's the people wielding the keyboard and the mouse with such skill that really makes the action possible. Well, now we look to 2022. So let me wish you all a Merry Christmas / Happy Holidays and an awesome New Year. May the microbial shroud of your life be lifted in 2022. And from my base to yours, Zugzwang out.